Today on Lazer Update, we meet musician Rocky Peter, who performed right here on campus.
Plus, we introduce someone who made the transition from news and sports into the world of communications. All that and more in the next 25 minutes.
Good morning and welcome to Lazer Update. I'm Annabelle Hughes.
And I'm Colin Rickert. It's Thursday, April 13th, and we have completed 11 shows up to this point. Only 21 more to go.
Indeed we have, Colin. It's been one crazy ride up to this point. We all got to keep pushing. We begin today's show with a performer known as Rocky Peter. Straight from Philadelphia to the OCC campus, Rocky comes here to perform live for the students with the help of Sean Eady. Lazer Update reporter Damian Hansen has the story.
From being an American Idol contestant to making music hits with his record label, Rocky Peter performed at OCC's very own recital hall for all OCC staff and students to enjoy. During his preparation, Rocky used several different pieces of equipment, from guitar, a Bose mixer only using his foot, making drums from his own vocals, and even playing on a piano for freestyling. And this could have not been possible without OCC's very own Shaw Eady.
Throughout the semester, I get emails from different agents and different marketing companies trying to bring in new talent to the college. And when an email came through about Rocky, I read his bio and I really took to his bio and the connection I believe that he would have with our students. Many of his, part of his bio and his story I thought would resonate a lot, and that was the first thing, and I was able to get him when he was already going to be in the area.
I saw that Rocky Peter was coming in an email, and he was way better than I even thought he would be. He was phenomenal. Just his musical talent. And I just found out he is self-taught. So that's even more phenomenal, but his voice and his ability with the musical instruments, he even played the piano, which he wasn't planning on doing.
During the middle of his performance, he had told us a story on one big project that he's been doing back home in Africa, which is taking his own expenses from concert tours and trying to provide fresh water back home for villages out there.
I think based on his story and kind of his upbringing and what he went through early on in his life, it is an amazing way to utilize his strengths, with music and the work he's doing, and then taking some of his proceeds to bring it back to his home community, into different villages in Africa to supply water. So I think it's a great way and very humbling project for someone that's coming up in the music industry. I really hope that we have the opportunity to bring Rocky back, but also bring more artists, performers to campus that are similar to Rocky, but also that are different, because we are always looking to bring new acts to campus, and hopefully students enjoy seeing him and want to see more.
There are many plans to add more performers down the line, so make sure you check your school email and any flyers you might see around campus to mark on your calendar. For Lazer Update, this is Damian Hansen signing off.
Thanks, Damian. If anyone's interested in concerts on campus, keep an eye out on your OCC email to stay up to date.
If you ever go on the OCC website, anything you find promotional or any stories that you find, that is the work of OCC's own Roger Mirabito. Claire Akers has the story.
After spending over 30 years in the spotlight of the broadcasting industry, Roger Mirabito decided to move his work behind the scenes as Executive Director of Communications for OCC.
I have always viewed my job as telling the story of the college. I'm very into messaging and simplifying messaging so that it's clear and easy to understand.
Mirabito has a unique way of doing just that.
When you enter campus, there's the electronic message boards. So the signs you see on there, I make those right from my computer. And there's a challenge to making those signs in terms of making your messages simple enough that somebody, stopped at a traffic light looking at it can sort of take in and retain the message in the brief time they have to look at it. I've felt so lucky to be here, and I love this place. I love talking to students like yourself and learning your story, and it's just, I got the best job in the world. It's great.
With Mayor Bito's help, the accomplishments of OCC and the students will never be untold. For Lazer Update, I'm Claire Akers.
In addition to posting daily on the OCC website, Roger is also the media creation coordinator, working with news and media outlets to spread the word about OCC and how the community can be involved.
Now we turn our attention to campus safety and how the students truly feel.
On today's edition of Pulse of the Campus, Lazer Update reporter Morgan Cavanis gives us the students' perspective.
We asked students on OCC campus how they felt about their safety. Here's what they had to say.
For the most part, I feel like on campus, for me, I'm safe. I feel safe. Sometimes it's a little uneasy when I walk around all the time and I don't see a lot of security.
I feel like there's a lot that I don't know. Like, there's a lot of precautions that I would have no idea about. Like, if something serious happened, thinking about it makes me nervous.
I know it's definitely there. Like, you don't see, like, police officers and stuff walking around, but I feel safe.
I feel pretty safe here. I mean, I've never experienced any, safety issues. I remember I lost my car keys one time, and I was able to find them because campus security was able to return them to me. They called me back and found my car keys, so.
And there you have it. That's how students feel about their safety on campus. For Pulse of the Campus, this is Morgan Cavanis, Lazer Update.
Thanks, Morgan. OCC has campus security on site 24 hours a day to help protect students alongside the local sheriff's office. If you need to reach them, you can call 315-498-2311.
Before we break, we will keep you up to date on all the happenings on campus, including what's coming up this week and beyond. Check it out. On Friday, April 14th at 7:30 p.m. and April 15th at 2 p.m., Songs for a New World is happening right in the recital hall on campus. Remember, admission is free.
If you're looking to transfer, make sure you stop by the Gordon Student Center on Tuesday, April 18th, when Syracuse University comes for a campus visit. Times are 1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
I chose OCC, specifically the BMC program, because a lot of it is hands-on and you get to use equipment.
I chose OCC because it provided a great opportunity for me to help students in my local community.
I chose OCC because of the hands-on learning.
Discover why OCC is the right choice for you.
Located in Farrant Hall in the lower section is the Ann Felton Art Gallery, hosting artwork from local and national artists. Within this small selection, the current art style in the gallery is described as lines and lineage. Go down there and take a look for yourself on OCC campus.
Attention all moviegoers, Renfield is set to release this Friday on April 14th. You're not going to want to miss actor Nicolas Cage playing the role of Dracula and Nicholas Hoult serving as Renfield, his trusty sidekick. Welcome back to Lazer Update, everyone. I'm Annabelle Hughes.
And I'm Colin Rickert. I gotta say, Annabelle, those stories sure were something.
They were, Colin, and you're going to want to stay tuned as we take a deeper dive into the history of OCC. You're not going to want to miss this.
We lost one of our grads last month and close friends of our producer. To honor his memory, we will show you some of his work from last year. In fact, we want to give you a sneak peek at what's to come later on in the show as we look at OCC's own Mulroy Hall, formerly known as the Onondaga County Poorhouse. This is the first piece in our tribute to Connor Fry.
The Poorhouse, known now as Mulroy Hall, has changed significantly since 1901. Photos of life back in the early 1900s, as well as the original buildings, have been preserved, such as the First County Hospital, an elderly woman resting on the porch of the poorhouse itself, and the women's building. Lastly, the head nurse, Miss Driscoll, in front of Pogey Pond. Unfortunately, the demolition of the poorhouse in 1998 meant losing a historic treasure, and making matters worse, Dead bodies were discovered 12 years ago by an archaeology team during renovations to the land. After discovering numerous bodies, the team had to rebury them in Loomis Hill Cemetery, that being only 2 or so miles away from the poorhouse grounds. You may be wondering what Mulroy Hall is used for today. To answer that question, I talked to Scott Titus, Director of Marketing and New Media.
We're located obviously in Mulroy Hall, and we support the entire college for a variety of things. We manage the college's websites, public facing, as well as some of the internal ones. Our external branding and advertising campaigns that we run, as well as a variety of internal communications too across campus. So. Yeah, actually, so we do have a regular standing department meeting once a week, and then we're also just constantly in contact via email, and the whole team is right here in the building. The rest of the team is right next door, so we're constantly dropping in and out and, collaborating on things all the time.
That sure is intriguing. More from Connor later. It's crazy to think about how much OCC has evolved over the years. We will take a deeper dive into OCC history this coming up in a few minutes.
Veterans who want to seek an education after serving their country can go to Steve White to figure out what's the best possible path for their future. Our Edgar Dowd has his story.
From an educational advisor to the Assistant Director of Veterans at the Office of Veterans Affairs, Stephen White embodies what OCC tries to provide for its students, sense of home and belonging.
Grew up in Central New York, graduated from high school, and I enlisted in the United States Marine Corps. I was an active duty United States Marine infantryman and carried a rifle for 4 years. The office actually opened in 1974, so 49 years ago. We're very excited about next year being our 50th anniversary. I think it gives me a degree of credibility because I'm both a veteran as they are, and I went to school using the GI Bill as they are, so I can relate to their experience and how they got here and the challenges that they face as a student veteran. Lots of memories. It's great to see students graduate and come in and tell you that they got accepted at the transfer school that they were looking for. And sometimes it's just great to see students get through the semester with passing grades.
Stephen White, a man who has and continues to provide for his community, is a prime example of how one person's dedication to helping others can have a long-lasting impact on others.
In addition, for more information, you can visit Steve White in the Veterans Affairs Office in Coulter Hall, room 217.
One of our daily features on Lazer Update is known as Did You Know? Today, Olivia Ramirez shows us the Ann Felton Art Gallery right here at OCC.
Did you know that OCC has an art gallery? The gallery at the Ann Felton Multicultural Center features local, regional, and international artists. Exhibits have included installation pieces, traditional and contemporary paintings, ceramics, and many other art forms from various cultures. The gallery strives to educate and bring culture to the community. Visit the gallery located on the lower level of Storer Auditorium. Open Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m.
If you stop by the art gallery today, you will see the latest show, which is called Feats of Clay, featuring some great high schoolers' pottery. On top of that, you can meet the artists next Thursday, April 20th, to critique or praise their work.
Before we go to break, we want to give you an update on the Lazer scores and the games that are yet to come. On Friday, April 7th, the Lazers men lacrosse took on Hudson Valley Community College and got a huge victory with a score of 25-3.
On Saturday, April 8th, the Lazers men's baseball team lost their doubleheader against Finger Lakes Community College. With the first game score, Lazers 1, Finger Lakes 6, and the second game, Lazers 3, Finger Lakes 8.
To me, OCC is an opportunity to find what I'm passionate about.
OCC means opportunity to me. Opportunity for people of all ages and all walks of life.
OCC is a place to hone my skills and learn about the industry.
Visit sunyocc.edu to figure out what OCC means to you.
The OCC Bookstore is your one-stop shop for all things academics. Stock up on all you need for class, such as binders, notebooks, calculators, and even computers. For those chefs and artists out there, we've got you covered too. And don't forget about our Box of Books program. All your textbooks and course materials at a great low price. So stop by the bookstore inside the Whitney Atrium and be prepared for your next class.
If you're a fan of Zelda, you're going to want to get your copy of the new game called The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, set to release in store May 12th. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Annabelle Hughes.
And I'm Colin Rickert. Have you ever had an argument debating what's the better video game console is?
No, I haven't, Colin, but on today's episode of God Issues, Colin, the other one, will tell us about the console wars.
Thanks, Annabelle. Hello, everyone. I'm Colin Harrington, and today on God Issues, we're discussing the console wars that are going on and how they have left an impact on the fans that continue to enjoy playing them more and more over the past 2 decades. Joining me today are Edgar Dowd and Chevy Chafee to talk PlayStation and Xbox. Thank you for joining me. Edgar, first question for you. Which do you think is the superior console?
I would say the PlayStation is more superior because there's more exclusive games that are more recognizable than the Xbox, and there's a lot of TV shows like The Last of Us. It was a video game from Sony to the PlayStation. Now it's becoming a TV show. So I would say it's more superior, and it has more sales.
All right. Chevy, can you compare the two consoles for me?
Well, the PlayStation and Xbox is like, at least the newer ones are pretty similar in my opinion. There's not much difference besides the exclusivities. Like, you know, for example, Xbox has Halo, PlayStation has God of War. So with that regard, there's not much besides like also the backwards compatibility for like Xbox, because PlayStation doesn't do that, unfortunately. So I think honestly comparing the two, Xbox looks a little bit better in that regard.
All right, I agree with that. Can you tell me which console has the better exclusives?
The console with the better exclusives, now it's really hard since the Xbox has the Halo series, and honestly, I think another one that people don't really talk about much is Left 4 Dead 2, which is exclusive on Xbox, which is my favorite zombie game. But PlayStation has like God of War and a couple of other really good PlayStation exclusives, so I'm going to go with PlayStation.
All right. Edgar, which console do you think has the most toxic fan base against the other side?
I think they're both toxic. I cannot choose because when I always check like YouTube comments or anything online on social media, they're always fighting on which one has the better console. So I can't really tell because I see they're always fighting, I'm better, so I can't really choose one.
All right. Chevy, why do you think this console war started in the first place?
Well, I think it started because people want to have the better thing, right? So like if some kid bought, like all the way back then when someone bought like the Sega and someone bought the Nintendo, not the Switch, the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, right? You're like, oh, my console's better than yours, and oh no, mine is, and it would just like start little arguments in the playground, and I can't get. No one really got out of that phase because obviously we are still kind of debating about today which is better, Xbox or PlayStation. But yeah, I think that's why it started. It's because like everyone always wants the better thing.
All right, let's continue with that. Which console do you think has the longevity that it needs to continue being the superior console?
I honestly I would say both of them because like they're very big companies like. And even if they lose their consoles, I think they'll survive long afterwards. Like, I don't know. I think they'll survive for a long time.
When we come back, our discussion continues right here on God Issues.
I chose OCC, specifically the BMC program, because a lot of it is hands-on and you get to use equipment.
I chose OCC because it provided a great opportunity for me to help students in my local community.
I chose OCC because of the hands-on learning.
Discover why OCC is the right choice for you.
Welcome back, Colin here again. I'm here with Edgar and Chevy, and we've been talking console wars. Let's continue. Edgar, how long do you think there will be a console war?
In console war, in my opinion, will stay forever. Until if like the two companies will somehow create one big console, just one, and I feel like all the people will come together. But if they don't do that, it will just stay forever.
All right. Chevy, what are your thoughts on Microsoft's recent purchases of different gaming companies?
Microsoft's purchase on a bunch of those companies is super smart. Like, if they could make Call of Duty like one of the biggest first-person shooter games exclusive to Xbox. They haven't, from what I've seen and heard. They're not going to do that. But the fact that they have the power to do that is pretty scary for Sony. So they gotta watch out for that.
Now, do you think that's a threat to Sony with them purchasing those companies?
Oh, it's a huge threat because like if Microsoft ever like wakes up on the wrong side of the bed one day, they could take away Call of Duty from PlayStation if they wanted to, depending on what contracts are signed.
That's fair. Edgar, which console do you think had the best start out when they first came out?
I would say the PlayStation, because I know there's many games for the PlayStation that now I still recognize from the past. I feel like when the Xbox came out, the only game that, in my opinion, got famous was Halo, because everything I know about Xbox is just Halo. In PlayStation, I know many games that started out to become famous, and that's how I recognize PlayStation.
All right. Now, Chevy, which console do you think has the better Game Pass, the Xbox Game Pass or the PlayStation Now?
I would say the Xbox Game Pass by far. I mean, I think when almost any game that comes out for the Xbox Game Pass, right, is put on the Game Pass. And it's like, I'm not sure how much it is, but it's pretty cheap per month compared to Sony, where it's like you have to wait a pretty long time to get a game on PS Now. I mean, because I've had both before, and honestly, I would just get the Xbox one.
All right, thank you. I'd like to thank my guests, Edgar and Chevy, and I hope you enjoyed watching. I'm Colin, and that's Got Issues.
Well, I guess we'll never know which is the superior console.
I guess not. But before we sign off, we want to give a moment to remember one of our own, Connor Fry, who was a 2022 BMC graduate who unfortunately passed away this past March.
In his honor, we would like to show you a series of stories he made, talking about the history of OCC from its humble roots downtown to what it is now on Onondaga Hill.
Did you know Onondaga Community College was originally located in downtown Syracuse and was known as Midtown Plaza before it was moved to Onondaga Hill in 1967. Midtown held just around 500 students with 8 curriculums and was a former factory before it became OCC. The downtown location did have its benefits as far as accessibility and endless things to do in the city of Syracuse. Benefits aside, the halls were very crowded and smoking was present in the small classrooms. The campus just wasn't ideal for the increasing enrollment going into the thousands, so the move to Onondaga Hill was essential for the future of Onondaga Community College. Have you ever thought about how the Onondaga Hill campus happened? Who was involved? 3 men met to discuss the architectural plans for Onondaga Community College to be built on Onondaga Hill in 1967. College President Marvin Rapp, County Executive John Mulroy, and Trustee Chairman Ransom McKenzie. Architects worked on a miniature model of the campus that had to be revised and redone until it was just right. It took 7 years for the campus to be finalized. The open atmosphere and nature surrounding the campus created a far more comfortable and relaxing environment, as opposed to the narrow hallways and concrete jungle nature of downtown Syracuse. This is how Onondaga Community College came to be on Onondaga Hill. The Onondaga Community College campus has changed a lot since its construction 55 years ago upon this hill. The BMC, Broadcast Media Communications Department, has the old-fashioned tools used in live production in a hallway display. Though not as old as the equipment that was used back in the day in this very same control room, it is still very cool to see, especially as technology becomes increasingly advanced. Though Easter eggs can be found that call out one of the founding members, specifically Ransom McKenzie. He has a road named after him on this campus. Now you know the origins of Onondaga Community College.
Wow, what a series. He will truly be missed.
He really will be. We would like to thank you for joining us today. Make sure you like us on Facebook or subscribe to our YouTube channel, Onondaga's Campus Connection. New episodes are uploaded Monday through Thursday before 5 p.m. I'm Colin Rickard.
And I'm Annabelle Hughes. Thanks for watching.